Hi Ricky. So for me personally, one of the reasons why I love football and one of the reasons why I hate football in that game as we move towards the end of it, I'm just wondering your reflections on it.
Really hard to give you my reflections because, it's still pretty raw. I thought the players gave absolutely everything in the game, and I thought when I was watching the game in the first half, second half, I felt I think it could have been a simpler game for us to go and win that game, and I felt we handed an opportunity to them on a plate. The first goal was an absolutely freak goal, but there's still elements within that freak goal that we could have done slightly different. And I felt they found themselves 3-1 up with not really doing too much. And that kind of had an effect on us. Obviously we made changes after that, changed the shapes, changed the system, and tried to get a bit of momentum, which the guys did towards the last 10 minutes, and fair play to them to come back. But I'm left here disappointed. Dan gets done down the side for the goal. He'll be disappointed, but Daniel's been outstanding for us. I can't be critical of him. It's just, I can look at the performance, of course, and we will look at it, we'll dissect it, we'll have a look, etc. But the result itself is hard to take, because I thought that was a game we could have won. I really believe that, regardless of League Two, and they're up challenging for the league, and I felt that was a game we could have won on a different day. If it was hit the post, hit the bar, the dying death of the thing. So it's disappointing.
Aye, and the fourth goal for them, the one obviously one from Adam Brown, just kind of about 18 yards out, found himself in a lot of time in the Braves box. Was that tiredness maybe for some of the players, or
I think Dan changed with Jack McDowell, so to the right side centre back of the three, which we try to obviously go for it, and it was a huge amount of changes that you can make at that point, because you're thinking, well, we're in the game, we're well in the game, our shape's working okay, there's relatively amount of fresh legs, and the ball down the side's a good one. Dan's positioning wasn't quite right, but I'm not having a go at Dan, not at all. Yeah, he knows himself, he could have dealt with that better. And then once it gets in behind Dan, that's a problem. And then we're all chasing back, and Adam finds himself in good space and puts a good finish in the net. And I just, sometimes you don't always get what you deserve. Maybe Alan and his staff think different to that, but I felt we deserved something a bit more out of the game today. I think it was really there for us to win. We'll have a look at the data after as well, and entries and chances created and the stats that we look at, but ultimately there's one stat that you can't get away from as the scoreline.
Yeah. Try to look at it on a slightly more positive note. It shows the progress that the club's making, that we're as disappointed as we are coming away from that game, having run it so close and being the better team throughout a lot of that game. It just shows that progress that you're making year on year as we move forward.
Yeah, but the game was there to be won, mate, and I appreciate what you're saying. And you are right, when you look at the bigger picture, there's individual progress, there's collective progress. Not obviously, sometimes it's not, you don't always get that with every player or every team or unit in your team, and there is progress there that we can tangibly see. But that's a cup tie, and it's a big cup, and this is one I wanted for myself as well, for the players, for the staff, for the ownership community, for Chris, for yourselves to go and compete in the third round of the Scottish Cup. Of course it was a difficult tie. Of course we were up at EK instead of down at Alliance Park. There's all those parameters that can go into the mix, but ultimately where I'm at in my head right now is it's one that got away.
No worries. Well, we'll let you go on. Thanks very much, Ricky.